Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to be making this really cute Grim Reaper looking character. So this little guy is the logo mascot for a company called Blind Skateboards, which I believe they make accessories for skateboards. So I think they make things like decks and wheels things and whatnot. I don't know too much about skateboards, but one of my friends asked if I could make this logo, this little guy, for his missus. So here we are, and I will make it in this video. So first I'm starting off with the armature, and I'm making a kind of short-legged, large-headed human-like armature for this one. I'm trying to figure out where the hips and where the shoulders will be in connection to like, the image, because I can't really do a human armature on this one because he's obviously kind of caricatured. So I'm just going to try my best to try and find out where these kind of limbs are on him. I also don't want my lines too close to the outline of it because I need enough room for the foil and the clay to go on as well after the skeleton, and I don't want it to look too bulky. So for the armature wire I used a 20 gauge uncoated wire for sort of the main part, and then a much thinner silver wire to wrap round and give it a bit more strength. So the silver wire is a lot more pliable than the other one. You don't really need to use pliers to move it around. It's quite easy to do just with your hands. I couldn't quite find the gauge to the silver wire, however I did buy it on eBay, and I do think that you can find it quite easily if you just type in floristry wire. It's like you'll see a massive bundle of it for like dead cheap because it's so thin. Most of the things that I do use are either from eBay or Amazon. I tend to stick with those types of sites to try and get my supplies from. I don't know, I just find it a bit easier to get it from them. Probably not the most cost effective way though, there's probably better sites out there, but for me those are the sites that I tend to go to. So for the bulking I'm using just normal kitchen foil, and I kind of just tend to wing this bit. I sort of add more and then I sort of squish it down and I mould it round and I make it so it looks like the image that I'm trying to copy. Afterwards I do use masking tape to sort of make sure that everything's nice and secure and that like bits of foil aren't going to fall off. So I made the base for the sculpture by making a silicone mould from an NDF base that I just had lying around. I only had the one, so I figured why not just make a mould of it and then I can have as many as I want. I don't know if the MDF base would just be cheaper to buy than making it out of resin, but I don't know, convenience, isn't it? So now I start to add the clay. I'm using a black Fimo soft polymer clay, and I'm wearing gloves because the black gets everywhere. So when I'm happy with the feet, that I personally think look like the dwarves out of Snow White's feet, when I'm happy with them I'll pop them in the oven for about 20 minutes on a low heat to sort of, what's it called, it's like save my progress. I think somebody else said that, but if this goes really well it is literally like saving your progress. Unless you drop them and you smash them, but you know, hopefully that's not going to happen on this time. So next I'm going to drill a hole into the bottom of the sculpture and also into the base so I can put a wire inside, and then it'll make attaching the sculpture to the base a little bit more secure. So I'll do that and then I'll add glue around it, and hopefully he should stay on his base and he shouldn't fall off it. He has such a pudgy belly and it's so cute. I hope I've managed to capture like the mischievous cuteness, that like vibes that I'm getting from this logo. I don't know if that's what it's meant to be, but that's what I'm thinking. So hopefully I can translate that into a sculpture. So with the clay I just add on bits where I can see the masking tape through it, and then I'll use my nail tool to sort of smooth the clay out. I've also baked it again because I am awful at squishing work that I've already done. Honest to God, it's awful. You spend hours on one bit and then you think, oh, I'm fine, I'll do another bit, and you accidentally hold on to the bit that you've just done and you completely ruin it, and then you hold on to the other bit. Oh, honestly, it's a ball ache. So I try and bake as much as I can. I've never found anything wrong with the sculptures for baking it so many times. I mean, some sculptures, honestly, I can bake them like 10 times and they're absolutely fine. I think as long as that final bake is long and on low heat, I think you're okay. Okay, so onto the arms. I pretty much use the same technique that I did for the body, you know, just adding clay and smoothing it out. For the awkward places, like under the arms and in the crease of the arm, I use the pointed silicone tool. Now this is my most used tool, and I don't know if you can tell from this video, but I have had to repair this so many times due to it snapping. I've tried to glue it, I've tried to put epoxy clay around it, it just keeps snapping. I think it's time for a new one, but this is the tool that I tend to use the most. So for the sleeves, I use this large ball tool to sort of make an indent and make the sleeves look like wizard sleeves. You can find these from eBay and Amazon again, and I tend to find them if you type in sort of pottery tools or nail tools. Nail tools seem to be really good for clay, I don't know why, but they do, especially for small details as well, so I'd recommend looking up for them. So I've cooked the arms and now I'm starting on the head. How do you like this new camera angle? I'm trying to film it using my iPhone with like this adjustable white arm that sort of goes right across my face and sort of like, you know, above my hands. The only thing is that I keep knocking it throughout the video, so it sort of like bounces around a bit. So I am very sorry when that happens. I'm going to try and get used to it. But I don't know, what do you think? Do you think I should use 2 different camera angles, or do you like the other one more? I don't know. I suppose we can always try things out and see. It's quite hard to try and sculpt while having a big massive camera like in front of you, and trying to get like all the details without your hand going in front of it as well. We'll learn, I'll learn, I'll get there in the end. But anyway, I'm using white soft Fimo clay. I'm only doing the front of the head in white because the back's going to have the back, but I cannot speak today. It's going to have black on the back, that's where the hood's going to go, so there's no point wasting white going on the whole head. So I'll just do the front bit and then I'll cook that and then I'll do the back bit. So with a small nail tool with the little tiny ball on the end, I sketch out the parts on the face, like where the eyes and the nose and the mouth go. For the cheekbones, I made teardrop shapes, and then I sort of smooshed them onto the face and just kind of shaped them up to make them look as though he's got really big smiley cheeks, like on the logo. Give him really pinchable cheeks, that's what I'm going for. So for the eyes, I made long, thin sausages to make the surrounding sockets, and then using a metal dental tool, I smoothed them into the skull so it looked like they were attached, and hopefully it gave sort of like a hole in the middle of where the eyes were supposed to be, like it would in a skull, I suppose. To make the eye sockets really sockety, I used a large ball tool to sort of like get right in there and sort of smoosh it right in, so there was quite a large gap in the eyeball socket thing, or whatever you call it. I'm tired today. I don't know if you can tell. So for the mouth, I used a needle tool to draw on the smile and all the individual teeth so I could figure out where they were going. It gave me kind of like a rough idea of where things needed to be and where the teeth needed to go. For the teeth, I made tiny teardrop shapes for the teeth, and then I place them on where I need them to go. So after all the teeth are done, I'm then gonna cut out sort of the bit behind the teeth, so the cheek bit, to make it kind of look like a normal skull, or a real skull really. When I'm happy with the face, I'll then use talc powder to sort of like smooth on any dints and to make the surface almost kind of like, I don't know, just it makes it feel better. I always put talc powder on clay. I don't know why, on white clay anyway. I don't know why, I've always just found it sort of gives it a nice finish to it. It also, if the white clay is just a little bit like mucky, it sort of gets rid of it. Not with this one though. With this skull, no, when you work with black with white, there's no way talc's kind of like fix it, but it does make a nice finish for it. Once it's all baked, I then painted over the black and the white bits with the corresponding colour. Weirdly, black clay doesn't look black enough for my taste, so one layer of paint is what I put on just to make it look black, not kind of this like grey black, I suppose. And then I painted his eyes. Well, where the sockets where his eyes used to be, and his nose hole. So now I'm just cutting black clay strips for his hood. I start with the front, and I make sure that that's all neat and tidy, and it looks like the front of a hood. And then once I'm happy with that, I'll then add to the back of the hood. So I cooked the front of the hood first once I was happy with just that layer, and then I used kind of Fimo to sort of connect the raw clay to the like front of the cooked clay. So for the tail part of the hood, I just globbed on a piece of black clay, and then I just shaped that to look like excess fabric on the hood. So for the collar, I made another strip of black clay, making sure that it was the same sort of width the whole way around. And then I smoothed that into the hood and then sort of flared it out so it looks like it's all attached to the hood and not just a random piece of clay that I've stuck on. I didn't like the eyes, didn't like them, so I decided to put clay instead. My god, that white skull isn't very white anymore. I knew this would happen, but I didn't think it'd be this bad. It just absorbs the black clay. So for the base, I used Mod Podge, I think this one's the gloss one, to attach the glitter. I used this really nice light green colour for the top to match kind of like the floor colour on the logo. And then I used the silver kind of on the outside. In hindsight, I would have painted the base first, so I would have painted the top bit green and the side bit silver, so no gaps would be visible. For the scythe, I used Fimo Effects Metallic Copper for the handle, and then I used the Silver Effect one for the blade. think the blade looked metallic enough, so I used this pearl pigment powder that I've got that's like really metallic-y silver, which I think worked quite well actually. I was trying to find some use for it because I tried to use it in resin and it looked awful, so I'm glad it worked on this. So I just super glued the scythe to the back. I didn't really bother with hands because you wouldn't really be able to see them and it'd be kind of awkward to do, so I just glued the scythe on and then I glued the sculpture to the base and I put a wire inside to make sure that he stayed on the base. And there we go, our blind skeleton logo is all finished. I think if I did this again, I would have made his eyes and forehead bigger and maybe made his body a bit shorter. I just feel like he hasn't got the expression that I wanted on his face. Oh well, I'll try again next time. Anyway, he's off to his new home now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to keep updated on any more of my sculpting videos, please consider subscribing. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like or a comment in the section below, and I hope I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye guys!